ask about the campaigns, the social media campaigns. Have they been effective?
They've
How effective
absolutely
have they
been effective.
Yeah, let's just talk about like just the whole revamp of it because I mean, before even like what last year, people had a negative perception, I think, of law enforcement and police. People are like, down with police
People
and them
still
now be inform and things like that. You know, that whole culture. But with social media, I think we all can see and attest to that there has been an aggressive campaign to not only change the image and the brand of the JCF, but change it to connect,
especially to younger people too.
So you're even incorporating like the dancehall lyrics, dancehall artists and social influencers, things like that. Like how speak about the whole overall campaign and how that came about. And I guess just speak to the success of that as well.
Got an ex who is involved in criminal activities. That was for Valentine's Day.
So I've been at the JCF for a few years now. And in my job, a part of my job has been to drive one aspect of the transformation of the organization, and that's communications. And this commissioner and this high command is very passionate about the general transformation that needs to take place in the organization. And so there's a lot of different things happening. So communication is one of them. So since I've been there, you take a strategic approach. So you're doing different things and you're fixing different things. At the end of last year, we would have decided that this year we're going to now fix some other things, because you might say prior to this year there was a negative perception. I don't necessarily agree. I know that there's negative perceptions, but I think that it's something that we've been working on fixing from before this year. But there's a more forward facing and cutting edge strategy being employed this year. Now, so nothing that we're doing is being done by accident. So for me, I'm a strategist. So what I do is I create a strategy and we commit to that strategy and we roll out that strategy in particular phases. And so earlier this year, we decided to move in a particular direction as another phase of the strategy. Now, I remember at the time, for instance, in February, and we were doing some of these things from last year, but it wasn't resonating in the way that you might want to, or it might not be resonating with the people that you would want to. So earlier in February, for instance, we, put out some content. People got talking. And there was some backlash. And I remember I was doing the rounds, doing the interviews, and I remember in some of the interviews, you have particular outspoken people saying, expressing their disagreement. And
in particular?
With what we were doing, how we were doing it, the imagery being chosen. And my response was, quite respectfully, ma'am, if you liked the campaign, I would have pulled it. Because this isn't for you. Like the press release them and the things that we will put and get into the news, that's for you. Or, the statements of, or the infographics that we put out.
Was it the silhouette challenge? And the silhouette one, don't it?
It might have been. But my point is that for too long, we are okay as organizations seeking to communicate, or people seeking to communicate with just one demographic.
Like-minded people.
So, like, when you're getting feedback from your little bubble at the country club,
Echo chamber.
like, you go and you were doing so well, and you're not. And you think. But the truth is that you're communicating well with people who can't give you one gun, can't give you one chopper, who can't do anything. Meanwhile, there's an entire demographic that you're not speaking with. And so there are I'll be frank with you. There are some of the stuff that from ones that, and I thank God that I have a good team that I work with. So, you can establish a strategy and you can have meetings and then they put out content and you have to liberate people. That's what leadership is about. Liberating people to do the work and enjoy the work that they're doing. Without feeling hinged, so to speak.
Because there's policy, and I guess again to look it's like, is this good
but
for
what
the
you need to do is give people room to work. Yeah. And so what now you're seeing is, and as I said, in the last 2.5 years, there's been a significant increase in our social media presence. But even preceding this year, there was a significant increase in our social media presence. But this year, there are some key things that we're trying to do differently that people need to realize. So for instance, again, I come from the background of sociology. And one of my fundamental beliefs is that mainstream society has allowed particular narratives. We've basically divested particular narratives to dancehall. So for instance, things about like reporting things that in your community. We've allowed a particular set of people to dominate that narrative and say informer for dead. So even when, there are people who you need to reporting. You're not going to report because, hey, I can't report, I informer for dead. Or you can't trust police. All police are corrupt. Right? And who is driving that narrative? Again, remember that you have criminals who have infiltrated dancehall. You have dancehall who are flirting with criminals. You have people who are straddling both. And they are the ones perpetuating a narrative that says, don't report. Police are corrupt. They're going to put narratives in the music that suit them. So of course they're going to sing that. It benefits them. And what I'm saying is, I don't believe that we needed to give up that territory. So I can say, what if we dare to take back the narrative? What if we dare to say, you can't have it? Why can't I report that person next door? Especially given the fact that when your enemies come to kill you, them can't shoot so straight, So them just spraying up everybody. And so now you have my granny next door dies from a stray bullet that comes through. Whereas if I reported you, she would be alive today. Or I'm not going to report because it's my son and I don't know what my son is involved in. And then you realize, well, your son actually killed his father. And so now when they're coming back for him and can't find him, they're going to kill you.
Can't catch Quaco.
And you could have done something.
And you could have done something. And so I'm saying that there are so many ways in which we can change the narrative about reporting, change the narrative about policing.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Hypocrites Life Herbals or Cannabis and Culture. Combined for a one-of-a-kind experience. You can visit them at 10A West Kings House Road, just across from the Canadian Embassy. Also, you can follow them on Instagram at Hypocrites Life or visit their webpage at hypocriteslife.com for the latest info on strains and merch. This video is also brought to you by Pure 24, pure natural supplements designed to enhance the body and mind. They make supplements affordable, effective, and easy to use. You can visit their website at pure24store.com. Their product ship worldwide. I don't know, so you can use that promo code TheFix to get 50% off all purchases. That's promo code TheFix. That's a new pointing technique, just. Okay, all right. To get 50% off all purchases.
For instance, I always say, people say, can't trust police. All of them corrupt. I said, all of them are corrupt. Okay. Name me one corrupt police. Well, I don't know no corrupt police, but them corrupt.
Not my friend.
Hold on, no. And then I say, do you know any police who are not corrupt? Everybody can tell you at least one police who's not corrupt. But they can't tell you a police who is corrupt, but all police corrupt.
Them don't know them name.
No, but what I'm saying is everybody has people that they trust.
For real.
Everybody has people that they trust. Come on.
True.
So what I'm saying is Tell somebody you trust, or call Crime Stop. And so, like, when we say call Crime Stop at 311, call Crime Stop at 311, in the decades that Crime Stop has existed, there have been a grand total of 0 people who have been compromised by calling Crime Stop.
Because I wanted to ask you, like,
so now, hold on.
Well,
No.
I don't think that it would be reported that,
Hold on,
hey,
no.
there are some people who have been compromised, because it would discourage people from doing
it.
No,
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah, okay.
We know what motivations are. Yeah. So the way Crime Stop is established, unless you want to talk, say,
you do it.
you understand? There's no way to know. And since the beginning of the campaign, where we have been seeking to change the narrative about reporting of crime,
Right.
there has been a 98% increase in calls to Crime Stop.
Yeah, I was just reading an article that said well, it was reported in April that there's a 97%.
Well, it's up to 98. In other words, it's holding.
Yeah.
Right.
And what are people calling about? Guns? They're calling about gangsters. They're calling about all of these things. We've seen a huge increase in just people DMing us and saying, "Oi, come take up that rifle out of my community." Like in since the start of June, we reported
last week.
Yeah, we reported earlier today. That there was an increase in when we compare beginning of June this year, beginning of June last year, it's like 400% increase. Of course, there was like 9 this time last year, and there's like 27.
Wow.
Up to this morning when we were preparing for the press conference that we had. And then, like, when I stepped out of the press conference, I got an image out of Western Jamaica. Out of 3 brand new rifles seized just today.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, so don't underestimate the power of...
And this is all because
he was
somebody
just showing us the
reported
rifles, by the way, for the audio file.
I'm just
On
pretending
his
to
phone.
see. And
Yeah.
this was...
Yeah.
In your blind self. So this was because of somebody reporting.
No, I'm saying in many, what I would say is a combination of improved intelligence gathering. But what I'm saying in many spaces, people are just tired of the guns.
Yeah.
And so they're telling us, come take out the gun them out of my community. And so what I'm saying is this whole lie that has consistently been told about people not trusting the police. Increasingly, what we see is people are calling the police. They call the police that they know that they can trust, or them call 311, or them DM us or something, and they say, "Oi, come XYZ place," so forth and so on. Guns are there. And so what it speaks to as an improvement in police community relationships, that we have been investing in improving police community relationships, and we're reaping the rewards. If you're looking at it from a social media perspective, we've had a 156% increase in engagement on Facebook. A 42% increase in engagement this year on Instagram. We have 30,000 new Instagram followers just this year. We have about 25,000 new Twitter followers since the start of the year. And again, it's not that we didn't have a lot of followers before, but these are new people who didn't see the need to follow the JCF before. And the engagement rates, it's not just new followers, it's also active followers. And the engagement metrics are significantly higher. So more people commenting, more people sharing, more people saving, more people sending to DMs. Why? Because does that sound like a force that people don't trust? I don't think so. That sounds like a force
for
that
good.
People are, exactly, a force for good. A force that people can say, these are my police. And I feel comfortable with saying this. And if people can say, Pinky, hide my ID. People can say, yo.
Squaddy.
People can say, Squaddy, hide my ID.
Yes.
You understand?
Name of the podcast.
No, seriously.
Right?
Seriously. Do people literally DM and say, yo, I have my ID, but they want gun around here so XYZ place?
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure they have.
Absolutely.
create a
But we don't
fake
put
account.
screenshots.
That's different.
You know?
Well, a couple moments ago you mentioned taking back the narrative. But there'd be people out there that would argue that with the campaigns you somewhat co-opted elements of dancehall, and people might say, "Oh, that's
Absolutely.
hypocritical."
Hypocritical?
Because your
When I claim say dancehall is this the
or
same
has criminal elements, but yet still your art is crafting a bad narrative, or artists or people out there of use dancehall to craft and put out negative messages, but you're now co-opting and using dancehall
to support your narrative.
exactly while somewhat villainizing it.
I make no apology for that. So if you want to call me a hypocrite, I really don't care because I'm about the results. This is a results business. And if I wasn't getting the results, you would say hang him high.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying is that you have to go where the people are in order to communicate with them. And so if you are deciding that this is the content that you want to put out, I can use your content against you. Or I can use your content, not against you, but against them. Remember, also, there are people who are going to say, yo, dancehall, the reality may talk. What do they mean by that? They're saying, I'm not singing about it. I'm just merely a mirror reflecting reality. Well, if you're just a mirror reflecting reality, so your story, it's not a testimonial account. It is a mirror account. Yeah.
Right.
So I can now look into the mirror that you're showing me and draw on what you're showing me to show them. So I don't have a problem with that. Remember, I'm not targeting you because of your music. You're not, if it is that there is a dancehall artist that has been arrested for something, it's not because of their music. We're not here to censor. But we can also now utilize that same nerve that you've touched on to now advance another point. So if it is that you're going to say that, we can say to people, look, they're prepared to say this. So we're prepared to say this. I don't have no problem with that. I don't see why. I don't think it's hypocritical.
I get you in my Netflix nasty. You could give you that style, but I'm tired of the fussing and the fighting, girl. Time for you ride it, girl. Tired of the war and the quarrel, girl. Time for you ride it. Them gyal suck me like a sweetie. Them off for pay while them gyal give it freely. Like really? Yeah, really. Dog, we no give a fuck if you want pre me. Man a pan killer go and go hawks beanie. Never miss match when me stepping on the street G. Pipe up, girl, you know me not tease you.